What's going on, YouTube? Got some bad news today, man. Yesterday, another school shooting in the United States. This time in Georgia, and I saw this all over social media last night. I mean, there's details still coming out. They're not gonna have the details probably for a couple days. It always takes a little while. I mean, cue up the gun debate on social media. Go ahead, go for it. But as far as I know, I mean, the basics of it is basically four people dead from it. 2 teachers, 2 students. Both the students were, I believe, 14 years old. I don't even remember what grade that puts you in. You got to be in like late middle school, or you're a freshman in high school. Basically, I think you're a freshman in high school at 14. And 9 other people injured, I think, is the best number I've heard. I've heard up to 30, but I think that was wrong. I mean, everything comes out with these school shootings like as fast as it can, and it's wrong all the time. I mean, the details are wrong all the time. And as far as I understand it, the kid just walked into this school with an AR. And I'll get to that in a second, but the other thing is, also I've heard, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet or not, I believe it has, that this kid was already on the FBI's watch list and had been basically visited by the police at one point for making school shooting threats in the past. And they knew his parents, like, they asked his parents if that was, like, credible in any way. The kid denied it, I guess, and the dad kind of stuck up for him and said they do have guns in the house, but this kid doesn't have access to them. I mean, if you're 14 years old, you can probably figure out how to, if your parents have, like, a gun safe, unless it just has a code you don't know to it or something, you can figure out how to get into it. It's probably not that hard. But the thing is, like, it's like fucking point at the sign, dude. Every single time we have this kind of shit going on, a lot of the times there's like terrorism or anything like that. It's like, yeah, they were either on the FBI's watch list, they were on some kind of watch list, or they had already got in trouble for it here or there. So I don't know. Yeah, I got to take calls when they pop up though. Wife's pregnant, so we gotta be on alert. So like I said, yeah, the FBI, they're on the list. They've already been visited. They've threatened to shoot up a school, and they didn't do anything about it. I guess they said it was not credible. Apparently, this was on Discord. I mean, I don't know. 2 of the news reports I listened to today talked about Discord, and they're like, Discord's a real problem. It's like, I don't know what I mean, dude's 14 years old. You're going to be on social media anyway. It's like Discord, whatever. I use Discord when I fuck around on my computer. It's just a chat. It's just a social media, basically. That's all it is. It's another social media. It's not Discord's fault. And this kid, I guess they're gonna try him as an adult for 4 murders. So, I mean, hopefully at minimum he goes away for life. It's so crazy. I mean, he's only 14. That's not that old. They don't know motive, what drove him to do whatever. I'm not even going to say his name. I only know his last name, but I'm not even going to say it because, I don't know, I think that's honestly part of the problem too, is it's weird. I don't know if every country does it, and obviously they don't glorify this kind of shit, but like America has this weird thing where we like talk about criminals a lot. Like people love talking about it and want to know all the details, obviously, but we in some ways, not school shooters, that's different, but like a lot of other criminals, they glorify that shit, or at a minimum give them way too much attention. So I'm not even going to bring the kid's name up. Fuck that kid. Honestly, if his parents basically let that happen by letting your kid, who obviously has mental problems, if you've already been visited by the police about school shooting threats once, you let them anywhere near a gun, fuck you too. Honestly, like, throw the book at them too, for all I care. You just got to be smarter than that. And now, I mean, 2 kids are fucking, they're dead. Their families are obviously devastated. The one teacher was like a football coach and had a wife and 2 kids. I don't know about the other teacher, the lady that was the teacher, but obviously every time this kind of shit happens, it's obviously probably devastating to everybody involved. Like, all the kids are now traumatized that are at the school. It is extremely rare as far as I understand, but in America, it's way more prevalent than anywhere else. I don't know. We can get into that some other time, whether it's access to guns or how fucked up America's children are mentally or whatever. There's a bunch of random things it could be. The main thing I wanted to talk about with this was just like the FBI thing. If they already knew, had him on the list, they already made school shooting threats. How do we get here? And two, they don't know how he got the gun yet, supposedly. So we'll have to wait and see. My guess right now is he had to get it from his house. I mean, you're 14 years old. I don't give a fuck if it is Georgia. You're not going to a gun store and buying a gun. They're not selling a gun to a 14-year-old. It's not a thing. I think even in Ohio, I think you got to be 16 with your parents to buy any kind of long gun that's not a handgun. You got to be 18 to buy a handgun. Like I said, this was an AR. But the biggest thing I want to talk about is how did one with this repeating thing of this keeps happening. It will keep happening. I don't know what they're going to do about it. Nothing will happen. They'll hit you with the thoughts and prayers. And I'm not a person that's even on the take the guns away. I'm not on that side at all. Like, they're gonna. That's what they'll lean into. Obviously, the left will lean into that. The right normally leans into like mental health of the kids or whatever. It's obviously both a problem. Like a 14-year-old shouldn't have a gun unsupervised. Like, totally different. You're shooting like you're. If I have a gun and I take my kid out to a range and we shoot and practice whatever, or hunting or something like that, totally different. You shouldn't have access to a gun like that as a 14-year-old in my mind. Like there's no need for that. But as far as I understand, he just walked into the school with the AR, with the rifle. Handgun may be something different. You could put in your backpack, get through, whatever. I went to high school in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Ohio. Okay. We graduated with like 40 people. The school district isn't nice. There's no AC. There's no nothing. All the doors are on magnet locks. You can't just walk in the building. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see how this works out. And as far as like kids getting guns into the school with like backpacks or honestly like weapons of any kind, I can't imagine a metal detector being that expensive, and I don't understand why every school doesn't have the magnetic door. Like, yes, there's ways to get around that, but we spend so much fucking money. It's ridiculous as a country on education. And our education still, in a lot of ways, is not good anyway. But, like, safety, obviously, of the kids should be number one priority. It's not that complex. Fucking lock all the doors and make the kids go through a metal detector. It doesn't hurt anybody except people that have shit on them they shouldn't have. It's not difficult. I don't know how a school has less security than like a government, like just a regular government building that you walk into. Nobody targets those kind of places because they have security and shit. We're just letting people apparently walk into the school. Like, it's totally, like I said, we don't know exactly how I got in, but I feel like other times people have just gotten into these schools with like a door left open or some other they sneak it in their backpack. Bro, just make them walk, put the fucking backpack on the little x-ray machine and walk through the metal detector. How does that not solve most of the problem here? Like, you're not able to get it in the school. Which is weird too, that all these shootings seem to happen like in the middle of the day and they just show up with a gun and somehow get in the school while everybody's in class. Whatever. I mean, they're gonna, same thing, the right's probably gonna push on like armed security in the schools. I don't mind that at all. Like, what? So what? It costs us more money. We fucking spend money like it's nobody's business anyway. Put another cop in the school. Who gives a shit? Put them in the school. Do everything. You should be doing everything you can to basically tighten up the security at the school. And then I would anticipate somebody that's on the left side of this being like, if you want to do everything, take the guns away. I mean, I cannot lie. I would think in general it would maybe help, but I don't know how much it helps just as far as how they get a gun, because he's not legally allowed to have a gun. That kid is not allowed to have a gun. So you have to take guns away from everyone to make sure kids can't get access to them somehow. And people who are going to do fucked up shit and break the law anyway aren't going to worry about the gun law. So I don't know how that works. like I said, I don't think anything's really going to come out of it anyway, one way or the other. Doesn't matter. Nothing really changes. We'll roll through it. We'll see. We'll see the details. We'll see what fell apart on how you can't keep a kid with a gun out of the school. I can't imagine it being that difficult. Who knows? Like I said, my high school that I went to definitely has magnetic locks, and you have to get buzzed into the building like during normal hours. You can't just walk in the building. You gotta buzz a little camera and they'll let you in. So, I don't know. Security is a lot of bit too lax. Obviously, it's fucked up. We'll see. We'll probably get some. I'm purely speculating. We'll probably get something. This kid is like mentally fucked up. Who knows what all their issues are. Like, normal people don't go kill kids and their teachers. So it's like every single time we come back to this where it's like they have some mental block, some mental disorder basically that they're either treated or not treated for. It doesn't matter, but there's something there. They're obviously insane. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Honestly, fuck that kid. Like I said, fuck his parents. They're awful people. Like, if it's their fault that he has access to the gun, take them away too. Fuck you. Honestly, I really don't care. That's on you in so many ways, as the kid's parents, and giving them access to the gun. I don't know. You just can't do it. Or you got to raise. I don't know. What are you gonna do? Raise your kids better, I guess. Fuck. Your kids shouldn't want to kill their classmates or their teachers. That's fucking insane. Like I said, we'll see where it goes. And then the only other little news tidbit I had basically was obviously pales in comparison to that. It's not really as big of a deal, but people are definitely making it a big deal. Is apparently some right wing, like, internet influencers, YouTubers, whatever. I don't know what you'd call them. Commentators are wrapped up in this thing now, where this company that they were letting produce their shows or run their shows first. They had primary access to running their shows these people made. Was getting funded by RT, which is, I think, stands for Russian television. Basically like a Russian media outlet that's obviously funded by the government. If it's Russian, it's funded by the government in a lot of ways. State media, they have state media. They don't have independent media like we got. $10 million, and they're making a big deal out of it, like, oh, they're $10 million, they're influencing elections, blah, 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 sowing discord. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, media-related, 10 million is a fucking drop in the bucket when it comes to how much money these people are making, ads, all the... What our media network is worth in the United States, that's nothing. So that was my first thing where I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes, but, I mean, it's $10 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but really, is it though? They're basically saying they're pushing Russian propaganda or sowing discord, whatever. But the one guy that I heard about was old Timmy Pool. I listen to Tim Pool quite a bit. I watch his shit all the time. I watch left wing, right wing shit, whatever. In my mind, I don't really let just somebody on the internet talking influence me that strongly, but whatever. Mainly things I've heard is basically he's just always pissed off about how much money we're sending to Ukraine, and how, I guess, like, Russia is, in a couple ways at least, entitled to defend themselves from NATO. Gets into a whole thing. I'm not getting into that right now. Some of the stuff I agree with him on, honestly. Like, yeah, I mean, if we're sending money, I don't give a shit. Like, you think Russia's a big bad guy, we're sending money to Ukraine. Could have used some of the money to maybe make the school a little safer for the fucking kids in our country. I don't know. But just because if you dislike that we send money to Ukraine doesn't make you a Russian asset. So I don't know how that works. But obviously, if people don't like you, they're gonna smear you in any way they can. I'm sure more details will come out about it. As far as I know right now, I read through the subpoena. The DOJ subpoenaed this company. Not subpoenaed. What is it called? Indicted them. Basically indicted this company that they were taking money. And in that document where they're basically laying out their case, they do mention that the company owners, Tenet is what this company's called, from Nashville, Tennessee, that's getting Russian money apparently, did deceive these people, was going out of its way to lie about where the money was coming from. So I don't know, an argument can be made either way. You're getting paid a lot of money. I think the one was like $100K a week for, so I think they put out one episode a week of the show and they're getting paid $100K a week, and this show does not get, like, this isn't a Joe Rogan ep, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't that. So I don't know. Are you that stupid that you're like, man, they're paying $100,000 per episode of this show? That seems a little bit inflated. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know. Like I said, that's not really that big of news to me. I really don't give a shit either way. Like, there's foreign money all over our media sphere. Like, okay, yeah, Russia's influencing that. They said the same shit about when Donald Trump won in 2016. They said Russia was influencing Facebook or something like that with a couple $1 million. Like, people are influencing everything, man. If you got cash, you're putting it wherever you think is best. You're influencing whatever you can, media or not. So you guys gotta let me know what you think. I don't know, especially on the school situation. How do you fix it? Because I like hearing the arguments. Like I said, I kind of laid out my general position, but I don't know. I'd like to hear what you guys think. I'll catch you tomorrow.